Um, so one of the things that we've tried to focus on when we came into the county, I think I tried to make all the meetings that you've had. First of all, I want to thank you for your service to Prince George's County and continuing to be involved. But when we came in, we faced, a $75 million budget deficit. The counties, at the time, we didn't see business growth throughout the county. We had our crime was rising. We had health disparities in the county. And so we were faced with a lot of things that were, quite honestly, not going in the right direction in Prince George's County. Where we are now, just 7 years later, one, we lead the state in creation of jobs. We lead an entire state, and not by a little bit. We lead, the closest competitor to us in job creation is Anne Arundel County, and we lead them by 17%. This day, Prince George's County, we're going to do a groundbreaking tomorrow over in Suitland. We have about $7 to $8 billion worth of development that's going on throughout Prince George's County, and every part of it, there's growth. We've seen our crime reduced by 55% over the last 5 years, and this year we've seen, in addition to that, we've seen our violent crime rate drop in the county. We've also seen, one of the things we've had in the county is that, when we came in, our uninsured rate was the highest outside of Baltimore City. Uninsured and underinsured in Prince George's County was the highest. We've seen that cut in half by about 55%. A lot of it thanks to the Affordable Care Act, but a lot of it thanks to the resources we put in. When we first came into government, for the first 4 years, we cut the entire budget of the county by 5%, each department, with the exceptions of education and public safety. So for the first 4 years, we did that. And then we focused on growing our economy and growing our commercial tax base. Because we did all those things this year, we've seen an increase for our employees in the county. Our school system got a record level of funding that came both from, an increase in our property taxes for the first time in 30 years, 4%, and revenues from the MGM that is now fully on there, and 50% of those revenues, by law, have to go to the school system, the county resources. So we've seen a record level of funding there. What does this all mean? And we kept our AAA bond rating. What it means for the county is that we're in a really good place. Development is happening here. Growth is happening here. We've seen improvement throughout each of the areas. So as this administration heads to its conclusion, we're going to be really in a good place for us to continue this growth. We're the hottest growing area in the Washington region, and that's what we should have been. So we have 5 metro stops that are really booming. I'm going to talk about a couple of them. One is Largo, because Largo is important because that's where our new $750 million regional medical center is going to be located. We will actually, so it's a real thing. In the beginning of administration, we talked about it, it was a hope, wish it, dream it. It's actually done. We'll do a groundbreaking on the 30th of November. That will be a regional medical center, so it won't be like the hospital you've seen in Cheverly. It will serve Prince George's County in the southern part of the state. It's already officially combined with the University of Maryland medical system, and so one of the best hospitals in the nation. We've seen improvement in our heart surgery for the hospital. But in addition to having access to quality health care throughout the county, what it also means is we are using that as an economic anchor. So in addition to having the hospital there, creating health-related jobs, additionally teaming up with our school system so that we have our students who are coming through our middle college program in the health-related fields at Prince George's Community College, being able to intern there. We will also see a complete changing of the boulevard. If you go to the Cap Center or the boulevard and you look at it today, what you'll see is many of the stores are being closed. Yes, so many of them being closed, so much so that I got a call probably 2 or 3 months ago from the owners of the Fridays at the Boulevard, and they're out of Atlanta. And so the owner called and said they were frightened because they were losing money, and they wanted to know what was going on with all the stores closing. And she thought that it was like most malls around the nation, it was going down. I said no. I said, and she wanted to know whether in fact they should close their store or start looking to move it somewhere else. I said, if you do that, you're crazy. I said, because the owners of that shopping center, that mall, are actually buying up the lease. So where you saw Gold's Gym, which was one of the most successful leases there, they've actually bought it up. They're not gonna have Gold's Gym, because it's gonna be a new mixed-use development at the new downtown Largo. And so what you see now, the restaurants will change, the movie theater, the Magic Johnson Theater, will not be what it is today. They will actually have, and I don't go to the movies, so I'm just telling you from what they told me. It's one of these new stadium type things where you go in there, it's like the plush seats and you can eat or something like that. That will be the new theater there. It will have housing, apartments, and different retail. In addition to that, so what we've done to make sure there's a critical mass during the day is a county administration. So when you go visit the next county executive, you won't go to Upper Marlboro. You will go to downtown Largo. The county administration will be in that area. What does that mean? Why did we do all of that? Because in addition to having to put traffic during the day at a hospital that's sandwiched between 2 metro stops in the middle of Prince George's County, it also means that people who need to get services and get information from the county administration building will be there. Upper Marlboro will be anchored as our public safety center. So where the county administration building right now is, the state's attorney's office will be there, the sheriff's office will be there, and public safety related fields will all be up there. The other area that I know is of concern is the Purple Line that's coming. Now we're really excited about the Purple Line because like all development we've had in Prince George's County, we've done it around our metro centers. The reason we've done that is for a couple of reasons. Is one, the infrastructure is already there, meaning that the metro stops are there and you can build upon them. But the other is they attract businesses to this area. So the Purple Line for us was a major key, a thing that we wanted to see happen when I came in as county executive. And we had agreed with the O'Malley administration that we would move forward. In fact, we know it's going to be such an economic win for us in the county, we were willing to put county dollars into it. So we had originally scheduled about $100 million that we would put into the Purple Line. Montgomery County would put $110 million in, and the state would match the rest along with the federal dollars we had. The new governor didn't like this setup and wasn't going to fund the Purple Line, which is crazy. This is one of the few things that the business community, the environmental community, and everyone agreed it would be good for the state because at these metro sites, that's where you actually attract jobs and the people who hire folks, in development. And so County Executive Leggett and I got together and met with the governor and asked him to move forward with the project. I didn't agree to pay any more money. But the county council in Montgomery County wanted the deal so bad they agreed to pay more money. And then our county council agreed to pay more money. So what it means is that if you live in Prince George's County, you're paying for a statewide project twice. But it also means one of the things that we struck, since we were going to put $110 million into that deal. Montgomery County is going to put $120 million into it. But what I said is, since we're putting the money up, I don't know if you realize this, but we've never had a metro line start in Prince George's County. We're always the last place for it to stop. It started everywhere else in the region. You've had a metro system start. You're old enough like I am to remember when metro was expanding. It has never started here. So I said, well, if we're going to put up the money, I want it to start in Prince George's County, and I want the hub where the workers are going to be here. And the reason is, one, because we want people during the day to spend money here. Two, you know what, that metro is going to take at least 5 to 7 years before it's complete. And if I know anything about government from these last 7 years, I know when you have the money up front. The money in the future is never quite there. Something happens. If we started here, that means the businesses we want to attract in Prince George's County, the redevelopment we're doing in College Park, and along those lines, the money is already guaranteed from the federal government, from the state, and from our partners. So we'll have the purple line start here. The headquarters of the office will be in Prince George's County. It will connect with, if you haven't been to this already, please go. We have a hotel and conference center at the University of Maryland. It is a first. If you've been to the University of Maryland and you've gone to a hotel there, the Marriott Hotel, that is not part of the University of Maryland College Park. That is University of Maryland University College. This will be the first, and it's phenomenal. It is a 4-star, 5-star hotel, conference center. It's huge. It anchors Rhode Island Avenue across from the university. It's part of our redevelopment that will start in College Park and go all the way to the district line. And then the last thing I'd like to talk to you about, and I'll be willing to answer questions, is, as I said, right down here tomorrow, we're going to do a groundbreaking at Suitland for the redevelopment of downtown Suitland. So if you have friends who actually own houses at Suitland or in Suitland, and they want to sell it, come hold on to it at least 3 years, because the value of everything around this area will go up. And the reason we can guarantee that development is going to happen in Suitland is we're doing something unusual that has not happened in Prince George's County, or I believe in Maryland. And that is the county is going to act as the major developer. We've actually bought the land. The county has bought the land around the Suitland Metro, around where Suitland High School is, and we're going to act as the master developer and bring it in. That way we guarantee it happens. It also means for the county, we're not trying to make a profit. We're trying to change the quality of the neighborhood and attract more businesses. But the groundbreaking will take place in the first beginning of a mixed-use development around a metro station. And what helps us out is the federal government has already agreed to bring more employees here in this area during the day. So for those of you who invest in Prince George's County, who live in Prince George's County, who have given your time and efforts into this county is in the best shape it's been in a long time. It really is leading the state, and there's some good things that are happening. And I feel good about the fact that when Cheryl and I and the rest of our team pass the baton on to the next person, that they're not going to have to start from scratch. They're not going to have to look for businesses to come here. That we will be a full partner in making it a grow here. And your efforts and your support have made that possible. With that, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there any quick question? I know we're between you all and lunch, but go ahead.
So easy questions go to me. Difficult questions, Cheryl is excited about answering.
Just a quick one. Executive Baker, could you address new school construction to accommodate the kids that all the new growth is going to?
Yes, we're excited. I mean, so Suitland will be a new school project. One of the ones that will be coming on. We'll do Suitland. We just opened Fairmont Heights. There is dollars in the budget for to meet Dr. Maxwell's school construction. What we tried to do from county standpoint, like Suitland, we're going to redevelop. a good portion of the money in SULA is going to come from the county budget itself, not from the school budget, because we want to move that school up to be developed along the same time that we're doing our development. That's a new concept, and we've got to get state permission to do it. And the reason I like that, and we're going to try and do more of it, it doesn't cut into the dollars that Dr. Maxwell used for renovating schools and his own construction line. So Fairmont Heights was the same way. We put county money into that, and we'll do that down the line. But what we're going to try and do at the state, and we'll do it again this year, is we want to cut a deal with the state, the same deal that Baltimore City did. And that is Baltimore City, only in reverse. The state put up 60% of the money that's renovating the schools in Baltimore City. They did it through the stadium authority. What we want to do is a 2-to-1 match. The county is willing to put up $2 for $1 given to us by the state and allow us to forward fund the renovation of our schools, because we have some of the oldest schools in the state. Prince George's County and Baltimore County have some of the oldest schools. We also, I don't know if you realize this, we have one of the fastest growing populations of students coming back into our system. Remember, for a couple of years, there was a slide where people were leaving? That trend's been reversed and it hasn't stopped. It actually started when Dr. Maxwell came back and it hasn't stopped. But what it means is that schools like, I'll use this one for example, my children started their education at Gladys Moon Spelman. At that point, by the time my youngest was there were trailers in the front. Now they're in the back. And so we're trying to meet the growth. That's a long answer, but we're trying to meet the growth of the school construction and see if we can get some waivers.
Okay, two last questions here and there.
Executive Baker, my concern is,
I'm sorry.
I agree with you, we have a lot of development going on in the county. I'm concerned about schools, she mentioned schools, but I noticed that last year, year before last, they were trying to close Friendly.
Yes.
And we don't have another high school in the area of the, so that's a concern, and also the roads.
Yes.
I went down 5 the other day, down 4, developments every place, but yet there are no more roads. And if I travel from 10 o'clock in the morning to 2, I'm fine. If I go 2:30, I'm in traffic. So what about the roads with all this development?
Infrastructure, period.
The Reader's Digest version. No, Cheryl Lennis, can you answer it? No. That is an excellent question. When we're doing development and the infrastructure, that is the roads, is funded by 2 pots. If it's a county road, it is our money. If it's a state road, it's the state's money. One of the things that we run into in Prince George's County, especially if you live on the southern end, 210, the areas down here, is that the traffic is both horrendous because of Prince George's County, but the bulk of the traffic comes from the southern part of Maryland. So St. Mary's, Calvert, Charles, that traffic coming through is actually not Prince George's. So the issue we have, and we're fighting for this, and it's something I hope to do at the next level, is when we're spending money at the state, because we in the county, Montgomery County, Baltimore City, Baltimore County, Baltimore City, we all paid, agreed to pass the gasoline tax, raise taxes on the gasoline. That money was supposed to go into the Transportation Trust Fund, which would then make the repairs at these roads and give local level. It hasn't happened. The money has been spread statewide. That was never the intent. So what we find ourselves in is the inability of Prince George's County by itself to handle the construction. The same problem Montgomery County is having, the same problem Baltimore County is having. The way we have to deal with it is actually to go to Annapolis and convince people in Charles County, St. Mary's County, and Calvert County, it is also in their interest to team with us to put the money into the roads and expansion of roads in the southern end, because they're stuck in traffic trying to get to DC or to Virginia. But that's not the short version.
Good morning. Good morning. I am concerned about the mega train. I haven't really
mega train that's supposed to be coming through our community in Glenard, Maryland. And we'd like you to tell us a little something about the mega train. Thanks.
One, it won't be coming through your neighborhoods. Yeah, I mean, they floated this idea about the Megalith. That's that super fast train, which will start in DC, take our property, disrupt our lives, and won't even stop to say hi on their way to New York. One, we're not in favor of it because one, the route that was picked had no community input. They didn't have any county input. When I saw about where it was going, it was on the news. I watched the same news you did. They told me, hey, we're coming to Prince George's County. It's like, not in our lifetime. The other reason why, and I've said this to the developers, I rode on the train in China and in Europe. Here's the problem. Back to road construction. There's only a limited amount of money we have. So if you take the money that it would, just to study this and plot it out, that would take up our transportation budget for Prince George's County and for Montgomery County and Anne Arundel County. That is your money. That's just a study of it. But we spend real money in real time. And so that's not gonna happen. So that's not gonna happen.
Okay, I know there's a lot of questions probably, but we don't have time for a lot of questions. We're going to take one last question. If you have I got a person here.
You got
If you
two
have a
questions,
question, if you have a question, you want to jot it down, I'll see to it that Mr. Baker gets it, County Executive Baker gets it, and he can respond accordingly. That would be the easiest. Cheryl is at the table here. You can give her the question. But the last question is right here.
Thank you, George. Yes, I live in the southern urban part of Prince George's County. I'm real concerned about some of the areas such as Brinkley Road. It is a main drag right now. They've built subsidized housing up there now, and they're building another condominium. We have two schools where the children have no place to go but to the shopping center, which is deteriorated in their building. We're all concerned. Our condominium property values are going. We've got the.
What is your question?
We've got the heart. What can you do to get us shopping centers and restaurants so we don't have to pay $20 to park at the harbor?
Is everybody here a question? I'm not sure I have a great, but we're trying. I mean, there's some areas in the southern part, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been really difficult to do the mix, the balance of the fact that there are areas we don't wanna touch, that we wanna try and hold on as long as we can, but we're sandwiches between two types of development. One that's coming from Charles County, and two that's actually coming from us, because, and I'll just be straight with you, as the harbor does better, as we expand, that area that it expands out, increases. And so what we have to do is figure out how we, and I'll look at those areas, how we can bring in the type of development that gives the amenities that residents want without over-developing and adding to the traffic that's already there. Because the further we go out, the harder it is without a metro system.
It needs to be right there.
It needs to be right there. We will look at it. You got that, Tony?